My earliest memory is my mom playing the piano.
I started playing guitar when I was about 8 years old. My dad had an acoustic around the house, and I sort of picked it up after him.
Well, I started playing piano when I was pretty young, but that's just sort of the classical side.
I first started playing classical guitar when I was 6 years old. My parents signed me up for it, which is, when you're at a young age, you can't really make those decisions for yourself.
I could fool a lot of people on a lot of instruments, I guess, but I couldn't fool any good players.
So from there to piano lessons in elementary school, and then played the trombone in the band in high school. And I didn't really get serious about playing music. It was just something I did to fool around until the last probably 2 months of grade 12.
I had been in concert band in elementary school, but then I wasn't really that into it until Mr. Taylor kind of got me playing trombone, and he played the trombone, and he was really passionate about it, and I had a lot of fun with him in beginner band and stuff, and then I started playing jazz, and then I got really into music from there.
They didn't have guitar, so I ended up playing bass because I figured that was the closest thing. And I sort of progressed from there and came to Point Grey and got involved in all the jazz bands and the combos and the choirs, and started playing upright bass in grade 8.
And over time, my love of music grew through the classical guitar, and when I got to grade 6, I decided to play the trumpet. I was originally going to play the saxophone, but I decided I liked the trumpet better. And then from then on, it's just been a growing experience, and I've absolutely loved it every step of the way.
Trying to offer them the music experience in high school that we didn't get to have. There wasn't a jazz band in my high school that was very consistent. I was always attracted to that music, and when I got to music school, I wished I had been able to do that. So I'm trying to provide that opportunity for the kids here. It's exciting to see them get turned on, they get introduced to the music and they really don't kind of understand what's happening, and it's quite threatening for lots of kids, especially the improvisational part of jazz. So to be able to take that fear away and make it okay for them, and then to support them while they explore what they're capable of expressing, it's really rewarding.
The music that they can study as a part of a school music program, of course, allows a longer term approach, and it allows you to get into all kinds of aspects of music other than just the playing of it, a little bit of music theory, a little bit of music history, and in school it gives you, as a teacher, it gives you a little bit of edge.
We listen to a recording of it beforehand, and we get a sight read it, and we listen to music all the time. He encourages us to listen to music all the time because that's the best way to learn style and to learn all these different things. So the support from the school in terms of listening to music and in terms of getting into that aspect of the music has been huge.
School for me, high school especially, has been very music-centric. I've done the required courses to get into electrical engineering, but for me it's been mostly about the music, and I've participated in the choir, the jazz band, the concert band, and I even did vocal jazz one year, and it's been it's just overall been an incredible experience, and it was the defining part of my high school career.
Well, the school has played a huge role in my appreciation for music. Like, I did not listen to choral music, I did not listen to jazz, I hardly knew what jazz was before I came to high school. But now, like, I'd say 50% of my music library at home, at least, is jazz music. So it's really gotten me into, like, other genres that I wouldn't have originally experienced.
It's something so exciting to see young kids in that important part of their life in their teen years when the music means so much, to be listening to jazz and some of the greatest musicians in the world, like Benny Goodman and Duke Ellington and stuff. It's really I feel like they got an advantage on me.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, at this age it's great. I remember being 19 and I was a pop and rock girl, and I got the opportunity to see Gato Barbieri. Oh man, that was it. That changed my life. I'm now a jazz person after that, right?
Yeah.
People like Etta James, who, artists like that who are iconic now, that you see when you're that age, and I think your heart is much more open when you're younger to all that emotion is derived from the jazz, right? So it's like pretty cool. I feel pretty blessed to have had that opportunity.
Right.
One of the most important things kids learn here is about community and about working together, and they spend their days here with this group of students. So if they were only coming together once a week, let's say for a group of like-minded individuals to rehearse together, it's a very different experience than spending your days in classes with your friends in this place, and then putting aside your differences, whatever, to come in together to a class to make music. That I think is really powerful, and it breaks down a lot of barriers between kids.
It makes for such a community atmosphere, and it's largely based my friend group around the music program, and a lot of my high school life has been spent interacting mostly with the music program. And obviously the teachers are incredible. Mr. Taylor he's so musical, he loves jazz, he loves teaching, and he's really passionate about what he does, and he's really effective at what he does as well.
I'm really lucky to come to Point Grey because I feel like our music program is like really strong, and it's such a big part of my life. I don't know what I would do without it, and sometimes like other schools, they don't have as good music programs or as comprehensive music programs, and I feel like every school should have a community like our music program.
My teachers really are the ones that got me into music and got me to love music to the point that I do. Without them, I really wouldn't have the love for music that I do at this time, and I most definitely would not be looking at going into a music career, and certainly not a teaching career.
When everybody is kind of swimming in the same direction, we're all got the same interest, so we all sign up for that extracurricular activity at off-site somewhere else. It's a pretty homogeneous group, but this group is anything but homogeneous. We have like a wide range of scholastic ability, of musical ability, different races, different, like everything. And because they're spending their days here, and and then come together to do this. I think that's really important. And it has a big impact, as they've said, about community, but also on this whole school community here.
Teaching music is something that I really love, and teaching in general is something that I love, and music is something that I absolutely love. So putting those two together is just perfect, and the teachers here have made that something that is okay. You know, I mean, a lot of times when you look at things that are going on outside of school and with all of the politics and everything surrounding band and the arts, and they're trying to cut funding from it and trying to cut everything out, the teachers, they ignore all that. They just let us do our thing. They tell us just ignore everything that's going on, play your music, forget about everything else. This is what we're here for. We're here for the music. The music is to let you forget about everything else.
What a treat to be in Vancouver for KPLU's first International School of Jazz studio session. We're at the Farm Studios in Vancouver with the Point Grey Secondary School Jazz Band under the direction of Brent Taylor, with the band's mentor, twice nominated in National Jazz Awards, skilled in small groups, big bands, and electronic jazz, a dedicated educator for more than a dozen years, and he just won the Leo Award for Best Musical Score for Short Drama, clarinet player and saxophonist James Dandurfer. I am thrilled to present to our KPLU listeners and jazz fans worldwide the Point Grey Jazz Band.
This is the first one of these, which is the KPLU School of Jazz Connection.
For sure, this opportunity's been a big deal for them. Like, at first, it was a bit of a sell, actually, because it's like school ends officially today, but for lots of them, their classes ended last week and they've been just doing exams. And so it meant that we have to keep running class. They have to basically stay in the saddle right till the bitter end. Like, they're finished today, I'm finished tomorrow, and you know, we're still rehearsing. And so at first it was like, wow, we're going to rehearse all the way to the end of June, and like everybody else is finished, and how come we have to? And so we don't have to do anything. This is something we have to decide to do or not do. But here's what the opportunity is. And once I explained to them what was happening, there was no hesitation. Like, okay, this is a really cool opportunity. This has had a big impact on them. They wanted to, you know, be part of it.
You can't get much closer to real life experience as a musician to be recorded in a real live recording studio, and know, furthermore, that it's going to be broadcast. A lot of musicians might record something, but you got to sell your stuff, and who's going to buy it? Whereas here, we've got a guaranteed audience.
Now tell me, over the last couple of decades, how has the jazz landscape changed for the school?
A fair amount. I think James was actually in the band when I first came to the school. So, and at that time there was a jazz ensemble that was made up of a random collection of instruments and a rhythm section and a small combo. And so over the years we've changed things around. I work with another educator, and we now have 4 big bands, and we have a number of combos, anywhere from 3 to 5 in a given year, plus a vocal jazz program. So.
Now I want to talk to James Dandurfer a little bit about the old days in secondary school under Mr. Taylor. Tell us about playing in the jazz band in high school. I guess you were a multi-instrumentalist.
Well, I started off just on clarinet until Mr. Taylor wouldn't let me in the jazz band on clarinet. So then I had to pick up the saxophone. You did that. I'll never forget it. So then I started playing the saxophone so that I could play in the jazz band, but I kept playing the clarinet. And I started on piano, so when I write music, I write the piano. So that's about it. I play flute, but pretty badly. So.
And would you advise young students to pick up a second instrument? I hear a lot of people say everybody should also, whatever instrument you play, also know piano, right?
Also know piano?
Yes, piano.
Yes, piano. Piano's great. Piano's a great instrument to know, no matter what instrument you play. But yeah, I would recommend picking up a second instrument, because what you learn on the first instrument, then automatically you start the next instrument, that much further ahead. It just gives you perspective, and no matter what instrument it is, you just get that, just another perspective on how to play music.
We have bursaries, we offer scholarships, we give students instruments if they can't afford them. We help them find a low-cost teacher for maybe some private lessons, or we bring mentors like James Dandifer was today. We bring mentors into the school.
And for some of these kids, this will be the highest level of music that they play in their life. And you know, that's a cool memory for them, and to be able to look back and say, well, you know, play the tape, whatever, and say, yeah, that's what we sounded like, and we were pretty good. That opportunity was pretty powerful.
Because I think it's a way of expressing yourself that you can't really communicate through words. Like, you know, when you hear a song, you can feel emotions that sometimes it's really hard to express that through writing or something. And then also just the music program at our school. I think it's like a really good community, and I'm really glad I'm a part of it.
Music to me is sort of an escape. I mean, a lot of people have outlets, a lot of people have things that help them get out of their own heads and figure out what's going on. And music is that for me. It's something that I can throw myself into completely 110%, and I'll just go with it for hours and hours and hours until my arm hurts and I need to stop playing. Music is one of the first things that I really was passionate about. I did some sports when I was younger, but those were just kind of things that kept me occupied and my dad would take me to on weekends. But music was really the first thing that I got really truly passionate about and really engrossed in, and was the first thing that was really nurtured in terms of a talent in me, which I really appreciate. And the teachers at the school and teachers outside of the school have been really, really helpful in getting me to the point that I am now in my playing.
I think for me, it's about the emotion around it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all about how it feels.
Right.
And I think when you're younger, you're more in touch with that in a direct way.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not thinking about the notes or the keys, or was that right or wrong, or was that a screw up, or was it meant to be? Who cares? It felt really good.
Right.
So I think that for me is the most important part of doing things like this with young people and getting them to feel those feelings as they move forward in their lives. I think it's pretty cool.
And how wonderful for a teenager who's so self-conscious about doing things the right way or
Yeah.
being cool
Yeah.
to get that lesson early on that
For sure.
mistakes are going to happen
Yeah.
every day of your life.
Yeah.
And in a world of jazz that really embraces mistakes, it's like, okay, now this is going to be all right.
Yeah, pretty cool. Cool stuff.
I'm just happy my passion is making music with teenagers, and I hope I continue to do that as long as I'm mentally and physically able to. Maybe I'm not the best judge of the mental part.